Alright, welcome to my bench. Today, we're going to install a Hobbywing 260 on my Raw. So, let's get started. First things first, we got to get this thing ready, get it configured. So I've got my telemetry cables, I've got my Hobbywing. Now this one's the 260, got a pretty darn good BEC, and we're going to get it wired up. So here I've got it mounted on the helicopter, start to route my wires back to the flybarrows, got my ends soldered on the motor. So I'm running my wires back, get my zip ties in so I can use the wire guide down the side of the Raw, get her back to the back end, start shortening up those leads, trim them back a little bit so I get a little better clean install at the back end. There we are, a little long, so we're going to trim them back. And we're going to be ready to go here in a second.
Alright, she's physically installed, ready to go. Now we need to do some software updates. So, 3 ways of doing it. If you fly with V-Touch, you just fire it up, go right into the app, set her up. If you don't run V-Touch, you grab the box, plug her in, go wireless between the box, the phone, use the Hobbywing V2 app that you can download, and then set it up. Or option 3 is you go this way to the PC. So from the PC, we have to download the software. Now I don't have software on this one yet, so we're gonna go through it together right now. So I go up here to support. Oh, by the way, address hobbywingdirect.com. All right, so we go to support. Go to download. Scroll, firmware update. We're going to grab the software. Pick a server, any server. Select it. All right, now we're going to select download. We're going to continue with download only. We're downloading. I'm going to go to the file location. We're going to drag it to my desktop. Put it off to the side. Boop. Let me shut all these windows down and get rid of them all. Don't need them anymore. Or execute. We're going to run the application. Now, we're going to say more info. Run anyway. All right. Yes, we're going to allow it to make changes to the computer. Kind of need that. We're going to say next. I'm going to accept the default file location. We're going to let it create the shortcut and put it on the desktop. And we're going to say install. Boom, finish. All right, shut all my windows down. We're going to go here and find Hobbywing Setup. We're going to run it. Yep, I know. Yes, please make your changes. All right. Starting. Checking for updates. We want to check for updates. We're going to say download. Let's put some version 5.0.6. We're going to accept it. Yes. Yes. Great desktop high bond. Yep. Here we go. Doing the upgrade to the current version. Now I'll show you in a second how to figure this out. So, if you've already got your software on your computer, how do you know what the version is? All right, now we're going to do the update for the database. So current database versions, May 9th, 2024. Download. Once again, I'll go to the software here in a second and show you how to determine where you're at. All right, let's just say you actually started your software up. There it is on the screen. You go to Help, go to Update. Your product is currently up to date, so you don't need to update. If you weren't up to date, it would prompt you to do the update. You go to Database Update. You do the same thing here. Click on Database Update. It'll come out and tell your database is up to date, or it'll give you the option to upload. All right, that's how you make sure you have the software loaded and you're on the right software version and you're on the right database. Always check those two items. Not all firmware will show up if you're not on the right version of software. All right, we'll hook her up and get ready to go. All right, we're back. So what I've done now, I got my LCD program box. I got my cable that runs from my program box to the PC. Software is uploaded. So now, the other thing we'll check is make sure the programming box is currently updated. So you would go to Device, LCD programming box. It'll make the connection. Now you can check firmware update. Obviously it tells you what firmware you're on. Click available versions. See what versions are there. Read about the version history there. I'm upgraded currently, so I don't need to do any updates here. Database, same thing. Current version, available version. So we're good here. We're currently updated on our firmware box. All right, next step. Okay, here we're back. I have plugged in the speed controller to power. I already had the box connected to the PC, but look at that. The moment that I connected powered up the ESC, no radio, ESC. Blades are off, tail fins are off. So I've connected up, and I went up here to Device, and obviously I'm on the ESC tab, and I told it to connect. So this is where we're at. We can go through here and we can check on how we're set up. Now, I run factory defaults from pretty much everything. Startup time, BEC voltage, I don't run factory defaults. So I want to bring my BEC voltage up to where I want it. I am going to run 8 volts. I'm not going to run 12 volts, don't need 12 volts. I don't have equipment for 12 volts, so I'm going to run 8 volts. Cutoff voltage will leave the same. I want soft cutoff. I want to auto-calculate, but I am going to run helicopter external gov, because I intend to run in the V control system. Now, once again, I could have set this up on V control, but we're going to do it here. All right, throttle control, all default. Now, depending on which way your motor goes, I could reverse this from clockwise to counterclockwise. I'm running EGODRIFT motor, so I want 9 degrees of timing. Everything else I'm going to leave default. Speed governing, I'm not going to worry about this right here because I'm not using that function. But I will tell it 10 pole pairs. So we'll backspace. Boop. We're going to type in 10. Bam, 10. Click out. Go to firmware update. We can check here. Now, if you notice, it is firmware version 4.1.02. I'm on the current firmware, so I am good. I don't need to update the firmware on the speed controller. So we're going to go, all the settings we made, we're going to say apply. Boom. Send settings to ESC. Okay. We have sent the settings to the ESC. Guys, that's it. Now, I'm going to connect or disconnect, go to V control and see if everything's going the right way. And she reboots. All right, we'll be back. All right, we're back. So what I have done is I've literally plugged the telemetry cable back in. So the telemetry cable plugs in here. Make sure it's right orientation. It runs around to the side of the V control. Bam! Comes out right here, plugs in. Without that telemetry cable, you will not have talking telemetry. Yes, you'll have RPM, but the RPM is governor RPM, which is reading off of the RPM cable, which comes off of the yellow wire. Yellow wire plugs into the RPM port on the, right here. See, right there, right there, right there. So, gotta make sure that's wire is plugged in and it's in the right orientation, right? Right orientation. Not that way, but that way. Gotcha? Cool. All right, so your telemetry wire is plugged in, your RPM cable is plugged in the right spot, V controls brought online. That's energized and waiting for me to do something. App-wise, so we're gonna go here to the app. Now, you see the little corner? The little corner. That's a two-way thing. So the little corner means that I can either touch it and get one screen, or I can long press and get another screen. Same here. Touch it, go to Xpert settings, or long touch, and go to advanced settings, a second menu. Now, in this case, first thing I'm gonna do is just make sure I'm rotating the right way. So we're gonna click it on.
Motor idle. Motor on.
Oh, wait a second.
Motor idle. Motor
I got
off.
the wrong rotation direction. Well, in the old days, you'd be undoing your heat shrink and swapping leads. But wait a second. I run V control. I don't need to worry about that. Go here. I'm going to go direction from reverse to normal. Change direction. Yes. Reboot. Let's try it again. Yes, I know my battery is empty. I gotcha. I gotcha. All right, here we go.
Motor idle. Motor on.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Motor idle. Motor
All right,
off.
so next step. I want to teach it its endpoint. So I need to teach the speed controller where 0 is and where full stick is. So 0 and full stick. So the way we do that is we are all hooked up, ready to go. We're going to go V control. Now, if you were doing like any other radio, you'd want to set up a linear curve from 0 to 100. You want to start up, reboot, and full stick. When you go full stick, you'll get your dual tone. As soon as you dual tone, you'll drop the stick to 0, and then it'll reboot. That'll teach it full and low stick. I'll be back. All right, for the purpose of this next step, I need to lay my transmitter down. So I've done just that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here to setup modes. We're going to hit setup, model setup, edit model setup. Start editing model setup. We're going to go all the way to the bottom. We're going to select. We're going to enable direct throttle control. That means we now have direct throttle control. So if we move the stick, we're going to run. See? As if to prove a point. Now, what I want to do now is I want to teach it the endpoint. So I'm going to unplug the speed controller. All right, here's fun doing this without a hand. So unplugging. All right, we're unplugged. I'm going to go full stick. Full stick. Plug it back in. It's always fun doing with one hand. Let's plug back in. Come on. This is fun. See if Greg can do it right. Without shocking himself or blowing the helicopter up. All right. When we get her plugged in, round hole, round slot, all that fun stuff, right? There's my dual. We've now taught it full stick travel. Okay. We're going to turn it back off. And we hit exit this. Now, in here, I'm in the Hobbywing V-bar Gov Mode. So, I'm good to go. I don't need to mess with this. Come on, I'm not even making models. All right, so we should be able to go into my helicopter under flight parameter, under governor, and see all the head speeds I want to run. So it's actually going to dial and run the head speeds. The other thing I could do, if I wanted to change that to a different mode, and I wanted to run Hobbywing internal Gov, I could go from V-bar Gov to Hobbywing Gov Store. And it will reboot. And now we're in Hobbywing Gov Store. You'll need to go through and teach the speed controller that 50% point. So there's a whole video set up on that. I'm not going to cover it here. Yes, I know I'm low voltage. But I want to put it back in V-bar Gov mode because that's what I fly. And then I'm going to go fly. That's as simple as that. 260, ready to go. Happy flying, guys.